Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, recently I've been looking at a Olympus and Panasonic Micro Four Thirds gear, but I've also been looking at mobile phone technology as far as cameras are concerned. And it's blown my mind really how fantastic mobile phones have become for taking video and taking photographs. Now, I've never been a mobile phone photography user because I've never liked using mobile phones for taking photographs. I'm not so sure I'm still keen on it now, only because of the way you have to handle it. It just doesn't feel like, you know, doesn't feel comfortable as it does with a proper camera. But it's incredibly convenient because you've got it with you. But I've never believed a mobile phone can take printable photographs, you know, where you could blow up to 10, even 10 by 8s, and, you know, sharp images that you can see on your computer screen. Until these days, I've done a fair few reviews on the Apple iPhone 13 Pro, that's it, and the 12 Pro Max. And I've also done quite a bit on the Google Pixel 6 that I have here. And I love my Pixel 6. It's a bizarre phone really because it's got a 50 megapixel main sensor, main camera, but the file sizes are really low. It does some computational stuff to the raw images to keep your file sizes low. And I don't know, somebody did explain to me what it does, and I've forgotten what that is already, but it still produces incredible raw files. And I'm really blown away how good the Pixel 6 is. And I'll soon be getting the Samsung S22 Ultra. So it'll be interesting to see how much better that is over my iPhone and my Google Pixel 6. But I went out to Gloucester with my brother last week or the week before, and I wanted to see if I could take comparable photographs with my Google Pixel 6, just for standard camera, nothing special, against the brand new Panasonic GH6. And I used the GH6 with the Panasonic Leica 12 to 60 lens on. And yeah, it's a fantastic combination. You've got dual image stabilization if these two are used in combination with each other. And I took a mixture of photographs, mainly inside a cathedral, and I want to show you guys and girls the results. What I would strongly recommend is you take a look at these on Flickr. I shall upload this album onto Flickr so you can compare directly the photographs taken on my Google Pixel 6, and I'm looking over there because it isn't over there, it's over here now. You can compare directly the images taken on me Google Pixel 6 compared to me the GH6. So I think you'll be blown away how good the Pixel 6 is. Now, the only bit of editing that I'd done was an auto button that is in Lightroom, and that just automatically adjusts what it thinks would be the best contrast, highlights, shadows, and so on and so forth. I haven't done any other editing. I've just literally clicked on auto, jobs are good 'un. And I'm just going to quickly go through them now. I'm not going to go through them in any detail. I'm not a pixel peeping nerd from that point of view. So I just want to, you know, quickly go through so you can make your own mind up whether you think a mobile phone can take as good an image as what a dedicated £2,500 piece of kit can. Now, we all know there are massive limitations to using a mobile phone. If you was using it as your main camera, you wouldn't. I don't think any of us would do if we're professional photographers. If you took a mobile phone out to a client as your main camera, I think you'd be kicked off the shoot. I don't think your client would want you using a mobile phone to take professional photographs with. Secondly, it wouldn't be very good for sports. It wouldn't be very good for portraits because you wouldn't want to use portrait mode because it's a artificial portrait mode. It will never be as good as a dedicated camera. So I don't want any of you to think I'm trying to say the mobile phone will replace the traditional camera. That might happen in 10 years' time. It certainly won't happen at the moment. But what I am trying to say is, though, if you want to go out and about and you want to take decent photographs, but you don't want to lug your, I say lug, it is really lug. If you don't want to lug around expensive pro gear, then a mobile phone, if you've got a decent one, will take incredible images. And that's all I'm trying to say here. So I'm trying to get the myth out of the way, when I've had many comments from people saying, when I've done comparisons before, they're an unfair comparisons, the mobile phones are crap and they'll never take as good an image as what a camera does. But do you not also think a mobile phone has many more advantages? You can upload them straight to Flickr, even YouTube if you're taking video. It has many social media benefits to what a camera does. And I'm very surprised that modern day camera manufacturers haven't integrated some form of, uploading to social media like a mobile phone does. Also, with the Google phones, and I'm sure with the Samsung phones, it can directly upload to Google Photos. So you've got a backup automatically uploaded to the cloud. So I think there's many advantages to using a mobile phone for your photography and your video. But let's have a quick look. And it is going to be a quick look at some of these images. Let's do, some comparisons. So I've got them side by side here. So let's have a look here. On the left, we have the, let's go full frame. On the left, oh, we can't go full frame. Okay, fair enough. So let's do this that way and get rid of the, there we go, that's better. So on the left, we have the GH6. On the right, we have the Google Pixel 6. And, the brightness and contrast on the Pixel 6 looks great. Let's check the focus. It looks, they look pretty much the same. I would say actually the Google Pixel 6 is just that wee bit sharper. And it doesn't look artificial either. It doesn't appear to have added too much sharpening in the raw processing, because the Google Pixel 6 will take raw images just the same as what the GH6 does. And I would always recommend that you, same with the iPhone, that takes raw images as well. I would recommend, if you're a little bit more serious about your photography, use raw. I know vast majority of people are just going to take JPEGs. They don't even know what raw is, I wouldn't have thought. They've no need to know. But I would suggest, if you are a little bit more serious about photography, and I know most of my audience are, so I would always recommend shoot raw and have a little play with them. Yeah, no problem with that at all. I think they look great. So let's take a look at another image. Let's have a quick look at this one here. Now again, this was taken inside the cathedral. We've got the GH6 on your left, and we've got the Google Pixel 6 on the right. And again, the contrast looks a little bit better on the Pixel 6, but that's not a big deal. That can all be adjusted, in Lightroom or any of your editing software that you use. But if we zoom in, again, the sharpness and the clarity is great on both the GH6 and the Pixel 6. Now, obviously, we all understand that a mobile phone's got a much, much smaller sensor than what even a Micro Four sensor is. So more of the image is going to be in focus, regardless of what aperture that you have set. So your depth of field is going to be greater with a mobile phone than what it would be with something like the GH6. But I'm taking that into consideration and still looking at comparable image quality between the two. Let's look at this one, or these two. See what's now again, I would say the Pixel 6 looks slightly over brightened. The GH6 looks a little bit more natural, but again, you can adjust that in the edit. But look at the detail on the, once the computer's finished loading it. Look at the detail. Again, the sharpness on the Pixel 6 is lovely. Really good detail there. In fact, there's less noise. There's a fair bit of noise on the GH6 image. You look at his face there. Virtually zero on the Pixel 6. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? How does that work out? There's 1250 ISO on the GH6 and 269 ISO on the Pixel 6. So, indoors in low light, it's kind of suggesting you're best off using a mobile phone. It takes a better image than what a pro level camera can take. Bizarre. I'm so gobsmacked and fascinated by how good the Pixel 6 is, but how good mobile phone technology is now. Again, look at this one. The Pixel 6, I think again the colours on the GH6 are better. than the Pixel 6. I think they're a little, a bit washed out on the Pixel 6. But the detail and the clarity on both of them is both spot on. Both is really, really good. But again, the sharpness and clarity on the Pixel 6, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Let's just take a look at one more, and I think you know, you're getting to see where I'm coming from here. Again, ISO 320 on the GH6, 44 on the Pixel 6. That hasn't loaded yet, that's still loading. So the Pixel 6 is a lot sharper than the GH6 on that part of the image. Depends on where I look, yeah. Pixel 6 is just a lot sharper. Now that could be camera movement, that could be that I just didn't focus I didn't focus in the right area on the GH6. And again, that's where the Pixel 6 scores. If you're just taking quick snaps, as it would, but you want good quality ones, then the mobile phone is going to produce, a better image. So let's take a look at one more. Now, the framing is very slightly different between the two, so but the lighting is pretty much the same. It's in exactly the same area. It's just a really, I mean, the GH6, again, the colours on the GH6, I'm really impressed with the colours that the GH6 is producing. I really do like the tonal quality of the GH6, but the tonal quality of the Pixel 6, considering it's a really small sensor, I think is also great. Again, if we zoom in here, the sharpness and detail from the Pixel 6, I think is scary how good it is. And again, it's phenomenal on the GH6. You can see there is a difference there, and the GH6 does win, but not by a huge amount. And I think this is what is becoming scary, really, how good mobile phone technology is for producing great quality images. And you can use them, and I think that is phenomenal. And that's coming from a product that is also a phone. It's it's everything. It's your social media brick. It's just everything that's built into this one little unit. As I say, the biggest issue I have with them now isn't quality nowadays. It's just the way you handle it. I mean, this one slips right out your hand. I think most of them are like it. So yeah, but we're looking at image quality. What a size difference, eh? Taking out, a bulky thing like this compared to this, which you'd have with you anyway. Or even if you took your phone out separately, it wasn't your main phone, but you used it as your main camera. Fantastic. But I strongly recommend you take a look at the images on my Flickr page. I put a link directly to this album on Flickr. Scrutinise them. Do what you want to do with them, but don't publish them. I mean, they're my photographs, so don't publish them, but have a look at them. That would be fantastic. But there we go. Yeah, let me know what you think as well. I genuinely want people to, leave comments as to what they think about mobile phone photography. I know a lot of you will say that it's still rubbish, and it won't compete with the likes of a proper camera. We all understand why it won't, but I think that even at my age, I never thought I would change. I never ever thought I would start saying mobile phones have got great cameras in them. Never thought I would say that, but I am saying that. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this of some use. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content on my videos. Really, really appreciate that. And leave any comments in the comment section. That's really good as well. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Cheers for now. Bye.